Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Always great to talk with New York Giants fullback Henry Hynoski here on the show. He has the Hyno-Tiger Youth Football Camp coming up tomorrow. Henry, for you, great to be back in northeastern and central Pennsylvania again.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. I love coming home and seeing all the people in the area where I grew up in. It's where my roots are. And I'm really looking forward to getting back and doing something nice for the community and for the kids.
And you're always able to bring some teammates that join in with you and enjoy the fun and relish this because you guys are giving back to the community, as you said. It all goes to Camp Victory.
Most of the proceeds go to Camp Victory, and some go to Southern's football program also. And it's nice to have the support from my teammates that they're willing to come in, make a 2.5 to 3 hour drive. Spend the weekend in Elysburg, Pennsylvania, and help me out with the camp. And that just goes to show you what kind of guys we have in the locker room that are willing to help out with any good cause for their teammates.
Henry, let's talk a little bit about the camp. If people still want to show up tomorrow and get involved, these young men between the ages, I think it's 5th grade through 10th graders.
It's 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's a day full of teaching great football fundamentals, football drills. You're going to be learning from some of the best players in the world as professionals, so you can't ask for better instructors or better teachers. And it's a lot of fun, too. The kids really enjoyed it last year. It was a complete success, and I know it will be this year, too. It's a great time, and I know that the kids are going to do it, and the families enjoy it, too.
Well, how about getting back and seeing some of those old faces there at Southern Columbia, head coach Jim Roth, the staff, those guys? I'm sure it's good reminiscing for you. Yes,
it really is. That's where kind of my career started. I can't thank Coach Roth enough for what he's done for my career and the rest of the coaches. It's always a good feeling to come back home and walk into Tiger Stadium where it all started. And I still get the chills for thinking about those Friday night lights, and it's always special. It's always enjoyable, and Coach Roth has worked endlessly and tirelessly on this on the camps the last 2 years, and he's really put in a lot of work for it. And it's something that he's really excited about doing also.
What are some of your reflections you remember being a young man, obviously a boy, playing football, those 5th, 6th, 7th graders getting a feel for it? Obviously, you're looking up to some of the players that were at Southern Columbia at that time, but for you to go back and see some of these kids and to get a guy like yourself where they're really looking up to you to say, hey, you went through that program.
When I was in 5th, 6th, 7th grade, I thought the Southern football players, I thought they were the greatest. So, it's nice to give back to the kids and give them something to look forward to and look up to and set a good example for them. And I'm sure the other Giants are going to be excited to see my other teammates there also. And that's how it all is, and that's what teaches, good fundamentals. That's what teaches about the love of the game. You have to have somebody to look up to and strive to be like, and that carries on the great traditions of football in this area.
Henry, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell us about your off-season, because there's not a whole lot of an off-season. You guys are getting involved, OTAs, mini camps coming up here, and then, of course, you guys will get your 6-week off and get ready for camp. But tell us about how you're feeling, how things have gone in the off-season for you.
Right now, we're right in the middle of OTAs. We start mini camp next week. I feel as good as I ever have. I'm completely 100% healthy, so that's always a good start. I feel big, strong, fast. I feel like I can go out tomorrow and I'm in tip-top shape to play a game and start the season. So I'm ready to go. I'm just chomping at the bits, and now it's just a waiting game. And after minicamp, we get another 6 weeks off here. So I'm going to continue training and maybe take a couple weekend trips with my fiance, and come back to Pennsylvania every now and again too. So. It's a little downtime on the weekends, but during the weekdays, I'm going to continue my training segment and getting ready to start the season. No days off.
A lot of guys vying for time in that backfield. You have a position coach. You have head coach Tom Coughlin. Talk a little about your relationship with some of the coaches there with the New York Giants organization.
I have a great relationship with them, and obviously it starts with Coach Coughlin. I have a ton of respect, and I have a ton of respect for that man. He has a perception that a tough guy, and don't get me wrong, he is, and he is very demanding, expects a lot out of us, but he finds a way to bring the best out of us each and every day. And, but what people don't see when the cameras aren't on him is, how involved he is in the community, how philanthropic of a man he is. And he's just a good, family-oriented, good person. That's all I consider. That's like most about Coach. I mean, he's done so much for me and for my career, but the person that he is and what he does for his charities and for the young kids, it's absolutely amazing. So I think every coach in the league should strive to be like Tom Coughlin, and that resonates down with the rest of the coaches. I have a good relationship with my running back coach, Craig Johnson, my running back coach. That was with the Giants my first few years. I had a great relationship with him, Gerald Ingram, and even the assistant coaches I don't deal with. Everybody's just they're there to work. They're there to get wins and put points on the board and stop teams from getting points. But at the end of the day, they're just all great people, and that's one thing I think the whole organization has. It's class from top to bottom.
Henry Hynoski, New York Giants fullback here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Henry, the lesson out there, tell us one big thing you learned from your parents that has helped propel you to the career you've had, and maybe a lesson from Coach Roth and the coaching staff there at Southern Columbia. A couple things you may remember that kind of have given you that separation to be in elite status.
Well, one piece of advice my dad always told me was to be an animal on the field and a gentleman off the field. And I wouldn't be in the NFL today if it wasn't for the morals that my mom and dad instilled in me. Just growing up, being a good kid, sticking to my roots, being the same person I always was, not changing with success. And I have to give credit to my mom. She was very demanding with me growing up with school and maintaining good grades. And as you all know, if you can't get through college, with good grades, you're not going to give yourself a chance to get to the NFL. So my parents gave me every opportunity to succeed in the way that they raised me. And with Coach Roth, it was all about being on time, hard work, dedication, and just those basic fundamentals that I learned at Southern that are still carried over in the NFL today. Always being on time for meetings. Coach Coughlin, if you're 5 minutes, early, you're late, and that's kind of the attitude that Coach Roth brought to the table. The way he coached Southern, very demanding but very fair.
Well, it's always great catching up with you, Henry. Glad you're back in town here in Pennsylvania, the Hyno-Tiger Youth Football Camp. It is Saturday, 9:30 to 2 o'clock, so check it out. And again, Henry, we thank you as always for your time, and best of luck, and have a great season.
All right. Thank you, John. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Henry Hynoski, New York Giants fullback here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.